Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. We hope you're having a wonderful Friday so far. I want to get you caught up on the latest headlines making news in and around Metro Atlanta in another installment of Catch Up Quick. This is a series where we get you caught up on news headlines in case you didn't have a chance to tune in to our morning newscast or really any day parts. We try to get you caught up at the top of each hour. I want to start with this beautiful look outside. Pretty cloudy day, but pleasant for the most part. We are expecting some rain through this weekend, starting today. Our team of meteorologists is tracking your forecast to get you prepared in case you're starting to make those weekend plans. In the meantime, let's get you caught up on your latest headlines and things we are covering on Atlanta News First Plus and AtlantaNewsFirst.com. I want to start with this, a bomb threat that really scared passengers on a Frontier flight headed from Baltimore to Atlanta. That bomb threat coming in anonymously, calling for a search of the plane. Now, Atlanta News First, Madeline Montgomery went down to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Here's what she learned.
This situation had Atlanta police, the FBI, and the FAA on high alert. They all actually greeted the Frontier flight that was landing last night, and the airline tells us that it was a passenger who let a flight attendant know about an anonymous airdrop message that they got about an explosive device. It was a plane coming from Baltimore last night, so the flight attendant let authorities know as soon as possible, and so they were all on standby once the plane landed at 9:20. Atlanta police say that bomb dogs helped search the plane, but they found nothing. The FAA and FBI are investigating. And this comes after another safety concern at U.S. airports. The National Transportation Safety Board is currently investigating close calls between planes at airports. The head of the National Transportation Safety Board told a Senate panel that there were 23 serious close calls at airports in the 2023 fiscal year, up from 16 last year. The NTSB is currently investigating 7 serious runway incursions, one involving a plane attempting to land at Boston Logan with a small plane directly in its path. That same month in Austin, Texas, a FedEx pilot had to abort a cleared landing to avoid hitting a Southwest plane.
These events put more than 1,300 lives at risk. These incidents must serve as a wake-up call before something more catastrophic occurs.
The FAA has done nearly 100 runway safety meetings throughout the country at different airports. Now they plan on doing 16 additional meetings throughout the country before the year ends. Reporting at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
And this story we first brought to you on the Atlanta News First app. A man wanted in Tennessee was found shot earlier this morning in Atlanta. Atlanta police tell us the 36-year-old was found just after 1 a.m. on Marietta Street. He wouldn't tell police where the shooting happened or what led to it, but we do know he was taken to Grady where he underwent surgery. Now, once he recovers, he will be taken back to Tennessee where he has active warrants out for his arrest. We'll continue to follow that on AtlantaNewsFirst.com and the Atlanta News First app and push out any developments with this directly to your phone so you don't miss a thing. All right, and we are continuing to track and learn more about the man who allegedly made threats against Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Learning more about him this morning, it all started with a phone call to the office of the Georgia Congresswoman. Right now, that man is in jail facing federal charges. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm tells us Greene had to close her office out of precaution.
The caller said not only was he planning to kill the Congresswoman, but also her staffers. So you can just imagine how frightening it was to take that phone call. The man accused in the case is being held here at the Atlanta City Jail, and we have learned the U.S. Marshals Service is holding him here. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a polarizing politician. She is adored by the far right, but she's despised by many on the left. She announced yesterday her office in Rome had to close because of 2 phone calls that came in Wednesday from a Georgia number. In the recorded call obtained by Atlanta News First, the caller said, "I got a bead on her like a sniper rifle, and I'm going to kill her next week. I'm going to murder her. I'm going to shoot her in the expletive head and kill her." He then goes on to threaten her staff and their families. Arrested in the case is 34-year-old Sean Cirillo. Green released a statement that reads, "Threat to murder elected officials should never be tolerated. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. No one should threaten your life for doing the job you were sent by the people to do." She goes on to say, "Threats of violence must be taken seriously, and that's exactly why I take my Second Amendment rights seriously." We spoke with people in Green's district, and here's their general take on threats like that.
Any sort of threats, any sort of violence acted upon them for any sort of political beliefs, whether social or political, I think is entirely inappropriate.
The U.S. Attorney's Office tells us Cirillo is charged with transmitting a threat to harm someone. We are working to get his mugshot for you. In downtown Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
All right, that was our Rebecca Schramm with the latest on that. Taking you out to a view of the courtroom, not a live picture, but some pictures, live video that we got for you yesterday. We showed you on Atlanta News First. You know, we're waiting to see the trial of rapper Young Thug and others get underway. That is expected towards the end of November, I believe November 27th. But, you know, as we have a couple weeks to go, we are learning through a motions hearing that happened yesterday, that lyrics will be allowed as evidence in this RICO trial of the Atlanta rap star. Now, the judge did say that there will be a certain amount of lyrics, at this point at least 17, that will be conditionally allowed, meaning on the grounds that they are cleared and permissible, they will be allowed to be used as evidence by prosecution. Now, this is a groundbreaking ruling that was made by Fulton County judge. But the ruling very specifically lays out, you know, only those 17 sets of lyrics will be allowed. We have that full list on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, and we'll continue to see how exactly that plays out now that, for the first time from what we're hearing, rap lyrics will be used in a trial of this grandeur. Now, opening statements, like I mentioned earlier, will begin November 27th. Atlanta News First will be in this courtroom every single day, bringing you live coverage, both on air and online. So best time to have your Atlanta News First app downloaded. We'll push major developments in this trial, things that come out of it, and any developments directly to your phone. All right, and I can't end this edition of Catch Up Quick without talking about the very special day that is tomorrow. Veterans Day is a time to honor our veterans and their sacrifices to the country. If you have a veteran in your life, I know I do, it is just a time to be grateful and thank them for their contributions. And if you don't, there are plenty of ways, both online, that you can support veterans in your community and show your appreciation. Our Don Shipman actually spoke to a Georgia veteran out in Blue Ridge who actually came out of the military and found success as a thriving businessman. Now, the story, which we'll have for you on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, make sure you check it out, but this is quite an inspiration. You know, there's a big difference between the structure of the military and the day-to-day routine that civilians maintain, and one of the biggest challenges entering the civilian world, veterans say, is finding a job. Now, according to a new survey conducted by the Veterans of Foreign War, 33% of veterans say finding a job is difficult, and that transition for them really hard to undertake. So when we hear stories like this, it's really an inspiration and a testament to the structure and dedication that our military members undergo. And I just want to preview some of the conversation that Don had with this veteran.
The most important thing is knowing what you're going to do before you get out. The military has a lot of good programs. You can go try out different jobs while not in the military. You basically, before retirement, you go and work at your dream job.
Couldn't have said that better myself. So that full story, again, on our website, AtlantaNewsFirst.com. You'll also find a full list of Veterans Day deals and freebies that you'll want to share with the veteran in your life and just share with the community. A wonderful way to celebrate our military members. All right, that is all I have for you today. Have a wonderful weekend. We are going to continue to bring you your latest updates on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. We'll have another top of the hour headline catch up quick installment at 1 o'clock for you. Stay tuned.